Welcome, dear viewers, to a place where shadows stretch long and the air hangs heavy with secrets. Tonight, we venture into the heart of the unknown, to the misty, ethereal realm of Foggy Marshes. Prepare yourselves, for we're about to delve into 3 chilling stories of souls swallowed by the fog, lost forever in the labyrinthine embrace of the marshes. Our journey begins in the sleepy town of Hollow Creek, a place where time seemed to drift by at the pace of the languid river that snaked through its heart, carrying with it the whispers of forgotten tales. It was here, amidst the whispering reeds and the ever-present shroud of mist rising from the Blackwood Marsh, that young Sarah Blackwood was last seen, her figure fading into the fog like a ghostly apparition.
She knew the marsh like the back of her hand, having spent countless childhood hours exploring its hidden trails and whispering secrets to the wind, secrets that now seemed to echo in the silence.
Our town was plunged into a state of disbelief and growing eye bruised with the colors of a fading sunset, when Sarah, a routine that had always brought her peace, wildflowers dancing on her lips, and stepped out into the gathering dusk, unaware of the fate that awaited her.
The fog, as always, was thick that evening, clinging to the trees like ghostly apparitions, swirling around her ankles as she walked, each step taking her deeper into the unknown.
Our next tale takes us deep into the heart of the sprawling Blackwater Marsh, a place feared and revered in equal measure for its untamed beauty and the darkness that clung to its depths. It was here that experienced hiker Daniel Carter ventured one crisp spring morning, eager to lose himself in the solitude of nature, away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Daniel, a seasoned outdoorsman with years of experience navigating the wilderness, approached the Blackwater Marsh with a sense of reverence and respect. He knew of its reputation, of the stories whispered around campfires about hikers who had ventured too far into its depths, never to be seen again. But Daniel, confident in his skills and armed with a deep love for the untamed beauty of nature, dismissed these tales as mere superstition. The sun was high in the sky, casting long shadows through the towering cypress trees as Daniel entered the marsh. He inhaled deeply, the air thick with the earthy scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, and felt a sense of peace settle over him. The Blackwater Marsh, for all its ominous tales, was a place of breathtaking beauty, its silence broken only by the chirping of crickets and the gentle rustling of reeds in the breeze. Daniel hiked for hours, following a well-worn trail that snaked through the heart of the marsh. He paused occasionally to admire the vibrant wildflowers that dotted the landscape, their petals glistening with dew, and to photograph the shy creatures that darted through the undergrowth, capturing the essence of the marsh. As the day wore on, however, the sky began to darken, the once bright blue canvas now streaked with ominous shades of gray. The wind picked up, whispering through the trees with an urgency that sent a shiver down Daniel's spine. A thick fog began to roll in from the east, blanketing the marsh in an eerie silence. Daniel, realizing that he had lingered longer than intended, decided to turn back. He consulted his compass, but as he turned to retrace his steps, he was met with a disorienting sight. The once familiar path had vanished, swallowed by the encroaching fog and the dense undergrowth. panic began to gnaw at the edges of Daniel's composure. He tried to retrace his steps, relying on his memory and the few landmarks he could recall, but every turn seemed to lead him deeper into the heart of the marsh. The fog, now thick as cotton, clung to him, obscuring his vision and amplifying every rustle and groan of the marsh. Daniel's name echoing through the silent marsh. They scoured the area for days, their hopes dwindling with each passing hour, but found no trace of the experienced hiker. The Blackwater Marsh, it seemed, had claimed another victim, swallowing him whole without a trace, leaving only the whispers of the marsh behind. Chapter 3. The Ghostly Fisherman. Our final tale takes us to the windswept shores of the Whispering Marsh, a place where the boundary between the living and the dead seemed to blur with the rising and falling of the tide, creating an eerie atmosphere that has captivated the imaginations of many.
It is here, amidst the salt-laced air and the mournful cries of seabirds, that the legend of the ghostly fisherman is spun, a tale whispered in hushed tones by the weathered souls who call this desolate stretch of coastline home, their voices tinged with both fear and reverence.
Old Man Silas, as he was known to the locals, was a fixture on the docks of the small fishing village nestled at the edge of the Whispering Marsh, his presence as constant as the tides themselves. A man of few words but boundless knowledge of the sea, Silas had spent his life navigating the treacherous currents and unpredictable moods of the marsh, his weathered hands pulling sustenance from its depths, his eyes always scanning the horizon for signs of change.
Every morning, before the sun had even begun to paint the sky with the promise of a new day, Silas would set out in his rickety wooden boat, his silhouette a familiar sight against the backdrop of the pre-dawn sky, a testament to his unwavering dedication. He would return hours later, his nets laden with the bounty of the sea, a gruff but reassuring presence in the lives of the villagers, who relied on his catch for their daily sustenance.
One stormy evening, as the wind howled like a banshee, and the waves crashed against the shore with relentless fury, Silas, ignoring the pleas of his fellow fishermen, announced his intention to set sail, driven by a force that none could understand. The sea, he claimed, was calling to him, its siren song whispering promises of a legendary catch, a haul that would secure his legacy for generations to come, a catch that would be spoken of in awe and wonder.
The villagers, accustomed to Silas's eccentricities and knowing better than to challenge the stubborn resolve of a man who had stared down countless storms, watched with a mixture of concern and grudging admiration as he steered his small boat into the teeth of the gale, his determination unwavering. They watched as the storm swallowed him whole, the silhouette of his boat disappearing into the raging sea, leaving only the memory of his defiant departure.
Silas never returned. Days turned into weeks, and the villagers, their hopes dwindling with each passing tide, resigned themselves to the grim reality of Silas's fate, their hearts heavy with loss.
Fishermen returning from late-night expeditions began to report strange sightings on the water, their voices tinged with a mix of fear and curiosity. A faint, ethereal glow emanating from the heart of the marsh, accompanied by the sound of a lone fiddle playing a haunting melody, a tune that seemed to echo the sorrow of the lost fisherman.
Some dismissed these tales as the ramblings of sleep-deprived men, their minds playing tricks on them after long hours at sea. But the stories persisted, growing more detailed with each retelling. But others, those who knew the sea and its secrets, whispered of Old Man Silas, claiming that his soul, unable to find peace, now wandered the marsh, forever bound to the waters that had claimed him, his spirit a restless guardian of the marsh.
They say that on the anniversary of Silas's disappearance, when the fog is thickest and the wind howls its mournful song, you can still see his ghostly silhouette gliding through the marsh, his lantern casting an eerie glow upon the water, a spectral reminder of his undying connection to the sea.
The legend of the ghostly fisherman serves as a chilling reminder of the unforgiving nature of the sea and the enduring power of the human spirit, even in death, a tale that continues to haunt the shores of the Whispering Marsh. And so, dear viewers, we come to the end of our journey into the heart of the unknown. If you found yourself drawn into these tales of disappearances and eerie encounters, give us a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until then, sleep tight And remember, sometimes it's the unseen that holds the most terrifying power.